I'm just gonna make it the longsword. So you get a longsword out of it. Now what you can also do is do show text and do say like dim background and in the middle and say you found main. And you can copy that and or do one for experience and gold, whatever. I'm not going to do experience, but I might do, I'll make it traditional. There you go, now it looks totally cliche. And there you go, and now the reason we did control self switch B on is so you can't repeat the quest. Because if you just turned off A, then you could just repeat the quest over and over again and keep getting swords and keep getting gold and keep getting experience, which takes the fun out of making more quests. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste another page on here, change the self switch to if B is on, change her saying to thanks again. Easy enough. And now take that off, and now every time you talk to her, she's just going to keep saying thanks again. Now if you wanted to, you can give her another quest, and right here, this is where you'd add, you know, now go get my helmet, or whatever you wanted, obviously. And then from there you can just repeat the steps, but make sure you use this time, instead of B, you make sure this time you use C. And then if you, say you have one character that you want to give, 100 quests to, or one NPC that you want to give 100 quests from, you could use switches instead of the self switches, and it would work the exact same, but they're just a little more complicated. So we're going to stick with the self switches for now. And now, okay, here is what we need to do to go along with this quest, is we need to make somewhere to find the sword. So I'm going to go with something besides the traditional treasure box to give you a little eye-opener about what you can do with the program. So you go into new event and change the graphic, and I'm going to go into one of the others here, and you can do a sword sticking out of the ground that I guess it doesn't quite glow, but you can make it look like it's glowing. But I'm going to do this one right here that's laying on the ground. And trigger is the action button. And do change items. High potion, I'll change it in a second. And then control self switch A. New event, self switch A, and leave everything blank. What that does is after this one is done, then the second one, it makes everything disappear. So there we go. We got her and the item here. Now let's go into the database. Go to items, high potion, change it to sword. Like that. Now consume, turn that off, because if it's on and you go into, if a player is new and he goes into his inventory because he just found a sword and tries to use it, he will eat it if the consume is on, and it'll be gone and you cannot finish the quest and fail. So also set this to 0 so he can't sell the sword. Not that it matters, I mean, I'd rather get the experience than selling a sword anyway, but whatever, you only get 1 gold for finishing the quest, so I guess it's kind of an up or a bonus. I'm going to change the icon here so it doesn't look like a potion, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Push OK, and let's test play it. I have a tendency to make tutorials and then test them, and I do something wrong, which honestly I think is probably a good idea, because I can show you what mistakes are commonly made, and then you can see why your game won't be working, or why it wouldn't work, or whatever. So let's see if I got it right. Go get my sword for me. And then she says, you haven't found my sword yet, hurry up. So let's go get her sword. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a mistake I made. Obviously you don't want the sword to turn into a teddy bear when you pick it up. So let's just see if the rest of it finishes first. See, now you have in your inventory the sword, and you can't use it, which is good. So now you go talk to her and see, oh, you found my sword. And you can keep it. You receive a longsword, you receive 10 experience. Go into your items, you have 1 gold, and if you go to status, you can see that you have 10 experience over here. And now what you can do is also equip, change to the longsword that you just got. Ta-da! And you're set. And now when you talk to her, all she says is thanks again. So I did do it right, I just missed one little step. Close that, go back into your sword here, and turn on direction fix. What that does is, and when you're looking at this menu here, it works like a character page does. So when you're talking to the item, it'll turn and face you. So if you do direction fix here, then it'll hold the direction it's at, and it won't change the graphic to the teddy bear, which is apparently set to the left, or the top, or whatever it was, where I talked to it from, and it turned and looked at me. So now it's just going to stay the sword no matter what I do. Whoops. Or the teddy bear. There you go. And now you're set. And now you just did your first quest. So I'm going to save that, and this is probably going to be like 30 minutes long, so I'll see you in a minute.